Good day everyone. I'm Michael. And I'm using a text-to-speech program to have a more clear speech and audio. When you know exactly how many times you want to loop through a block of code, use the for loop instead of while loop. The initializer section is used to initialize a variable that will be local to a for loop and cannot be accessed outside the loop. It can also be 0 or more assignment statements, method call, increment, or decrement expression. The condition is a Boolean expression that will return either true or false. If an expression evaluates to true, then it will execute the loop again, otherwise, the loop is exited. The iterator defines the incremental or decremental of the loop variable. Here is an example of a for loop. This code will print 0 to 4 to the console. This is the initialization where we set the variable x to 0. This will be executed only once. The x less than 5 defines the condition for the loop to run. If the condition is true, the loop will start over again. If it is false, the loop will end. And this code block will be read as long as the condition is true. The x++ increases the value of x. Let's do a simulation for this code. If you run the app, the first code that will be read by the compiler is the initialization part, which is setting the x to 0. Then ask if the x is less than 5. And this will return a value of true since x, which is 0, is less than 5. Next to read is the code block. The code block has only one statement, and that is to print the value of x, which is currently 0. After reading the code block, it will read the iterator, which increments the value of x. So x now is equal to 1. Then, go back again to the condition to ask if x is still less than 5. The value of x now is 1, so it is still less than 5. Meaning, we have to read again the code block. The value of x is now 1, so it will print 1 to the console. Then increment 1 to variable x. So variable x now is equal to 2. Check the condition if x is still less than 5, which is true. This loop will repeatedly do this process as long as the condition is true. At this point, where x is now equal to 5, the Boolean condition will be false. Since x, which is now 5, is not less than 5. This will end the loop and read the next statement. So that's the sequence of code using the for loop. An initializer, condition, and iterator sections are optional. You can initialize a variable before the loop. Condition and iterator can be set inside a code block. These samples are all valid. But be careful in defining a condition and iterator. Otherwise, it will be an infinite loop that will never end the loop. A for loop can also include multiple initializers and iterator statements separated by a comma. If you notice, I put 2 variables and 2 iterators inside the for loop statement. And simply print the value of each variable inside the code block. C# allows a for loop inside another for loop. In this sample, the inner loop will read twice since the outer loop condition asks a if it's less than 2, where a is equal to 0. Let's simulate the sequence of code. The condition b less than 2 is now false, since the value of b is now equal to 2. So this will exit the loop. I mentioned before that the initialization part is only read once. But if we reread the loop again, then the process will reset. And that's the reason we need to read the initialization part again. The condition is false again and exit the loop. Variable a now is equal to 2. So this condition is false. And will exit the loop. So that's how the nested for loop works. For our self-check, what will be the output of the following program? You can comment your answer down below. That's all for this video lesson. If you have questions, suggestions, something to add, or you think something is missing or incorrect to the lesson, please let me know. Again, this is Michael, thank you and see you at my next video lesson. Keep safe everyone.